lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Good morning, area.
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
Can you feel it? I know I can. It's the feeling of a Friday. Payday Friday. Phil Collins Friday. A July 7th Friday. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. It's a good day. And it's a good day to talk to you. 888-957-9570. That's the number for all of us to have a discussion. Call or text 888-957-9570. You can hit me up there. You can hit me up on Twitch, on YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game, like, subscribe, and you'll find me, Joe Spadoni, up and streaming. Good morning to all you beautiful people. If you're just getting off work, getting ready for work, getting ready for vacation, getting ready for school, you got summer school, you got classes, whatever you got. Appreciate you choosing me and choosing this program here at 5:01 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And also be sure to download that Odyssey app if you are traveling, and you can take us wherever you need to go. If you're going international, again, Twitch, YouTube, stream us there. We're in Australia, we're in the Netherlands, we're in Canada, Mexico, Germany, Uzbekistan, Syria, Chad. We're everywhere. Romania, Transylvania. Is Transylvania just in Romania? I'm getting told. All right, but nonetheless, we're there. 888-957-9570. It's a simple question, always on a Friday. What are you doing this weekend? Good morning, Jesus M. or Jesus, whatever pronunciation you prefer. Saludos. Happy Friday. The question I have this morning, the pregame show, is what team, hell, not even what team, because I think that gets you off too easy. What coach? No, not what coach. What player? No, not what player. We're just going person. Because I want you to get involved at 888-957-9570. Again, we talk with you here at 95.7 The Game, and specifically the pregame show. We don't talk at you. We don't do that. I'm not going to lecture you. That's not my bag. I already have 2 children I have to just talk to every night. One of them listens, and it's not the 3-year-old. It's more so the 9-month-old. Got a puppy who doesn't listen to me. Got 2 cats that keep me up all night. So I'm not trying to lecture anyone here. I'm trying to have a conversation. What person in the Bay Area sports landscape is under the most pressure currently to bring a title? Yeah, I go what person, because that encompasses either a player, coach, or an owner. Now let's just go through our 3 major ones. I'm not going to include the A's because, damn it, they just want to try to stay here if you're a fan. They have an owner actively trying to lose. It's Major League in real life. We've been seeing it all year. So I'll leave them to the side. Listen, I love you A's fans. I respect you. Sell the team. Screw John Fisher. I'm with you. Good morning, El Guero on the YouTube chat. It's Payday Friday. It's a great Friday. But who is under the most pressure here in the Bay to deliver a chip? Let's go team by team. Of all the teams right now, we're talking Warriors, Giants, and Niners. Giants feel like they're under the least amount of pressure to deliver a title. You brought Farhan Zaidi in, now president of basketball operations, to clean up the mess that was the San Francisco Giants. A couple of years removed from a playoff run, Bruce Bochy feels like he's on his last legs as it pertains to managing this squad. You've won 3 titles, but the shine from that is wearing off a little bit. And your farm system blows. You traded all that away to try to win now. It didn't work. Bad contracts, old injured players. You needed a guy to come in and clean it up, a la a bar rescue in John Taffer. Shut it down, right? Is that the meme I always see? Shut it down. I don't even think I've ever really watched that show, Bar Rescue. I just know the guy from the meme. And I think I watched, one episode with Marshawn Lynch, and it was hilarious. That was it. That's all I needed to see. But that's why Farhan was brought in. He was brought in Bar Rescue, Restaurant Impossible, Gordon Ramsay, Kitchen Nightmare, whatever. That was what Farhan was brought in to do to the San Francisco Giants. And I think we are finally seeing the fruits of his labor in the farm system pay off. Patrick Bailey looks like a nice piece to build around. Casey Schmidt, bats cold, glove stays hot. And you heard from Dave Fleming yesterday. This is a great opportunity for Casey Schmidt with Tyro Estrada's injury. Dave Fleming, obviously our 95.7 The Game Giants insider and voice of the San Francisco Giants, had to say this with Bonta and Shasky yesterday.
I think Casey, it's a great opportunity for him, and I think the Giants' default is let's play Casey.
Okay.
They want that to happen. They want him to take that job for as long as Tyro's out, they want him to be the primary guy there. And last night you saw it. You watched that replay last night of that smash that J.P. Crawford did, and watch his hands and just how natural and reactive and instinctive his glove was there. Just, you cannot teach that stuff. The guy is special. He's got incredible defensive tools. And so I think my preference is, and I know I've asked, the Giants' preference is Casey has this job.
Again, Dave Fleming there, voice of the San Francisco Giants and our 95.7 The Game Giants insider. If you want to find that entire interview, download the Odyssey app, favorite 95.7 The Game, or like and subscribe on Twitch, on YouTube. Find it all there. We're talking who the most desperate person is amongst the Giants, Warriors, and Niners. Who's most desperate to win a chip? And I say person, I don't isolate it to player, to coach, to owner. Leaving all that open to you at 888-957-9570. But we're starting with the Giants and looking through there. Farhan took over the team 5 years ago. They've had one winning season. One. It was a great year. And I get it. They're winning now. What are they now? 2.5 back after the Mets drubbed the Arizona Diamondbacks. A little frisky there in the desert. Mets, by the way, they're hot. Won 5 straight. Padres, they won 5 straight. I think they have a series starting today. That'll be fun. One of those teams is going to leave disappointed. But Farhan was tasked with cleaning up this mess. And he's done a pretty good job this year. So far. Schmidt, Matos, Bailey, Estrada, before he got hurt, looked pretty good. Doval, all-star. Some of the signings paid off. J.D. Davis, the trade from last year. Conforto, prior to the injury, was looking pretty good. Haniger, F. Stripling, F. Minaya, D+. Wood, C-. DeSclafani so far, C-. Hasn't looked good. Cobb, that's an A. Signing Logan Webb to the deal he signed, that feels like a B, B+, maybe an A-. Pretty good to get that guy set up here for the next 5, 6, 7 years as your potential ace or second player, your number 2 if Kyle Harrison ends up being that dude. And that's another name we are waiting to see potentially this season. So he was tasked to bring in all his dudes and clean up this mess. And I think he's done that for the most part, and we're seeing that finally pay off this season. Having said all that, the expectations still just make the playoffs. That's what they're trying to do. I argue the expectations should be higher than that 5 years into it. I understand it takes time to tear down and build back up organizations, especially in baseball with the farm system, all that sort of stuff. I get it. And no one knows that more than Farhan, who came from the Oakland Athletics organization, assistant GM, back in those 11, 12, 13, 14 runs. So he's aware of how long it could take and how long it might take to tear down that iteration, like they did in Oakland with Donaldson, the Mosses, right? Grant Balfour, Sean Dooley. You think of all those guys. They moved off of him. And it took a couple years to get back, but then you had the Sean Murphys, the Matt Olsons, the Matt Chapmans, Chris Davises of the world. And that's what Giants fans were hoping here. Especially with Farhan going to LA after that and building a juggernaut that's still smashing the division and the entire league to this day. He was the architect, along with Andrew Friedman, formerly of Tampa, of building up your rival's juggernaut. Now he's coming here to fix it. And how are we feeling about that at 888-957-9570? Should the expectations only be 5 years in? Just make the playoffs? It's a top 5 market. It's a top 5 market. And we're just talking about make the playoffs? This is a team that won 3 World Series last decade. 3 of them. And 5 years in, we're talking just make the playoffs. It's a little tough to swallow for Giants fans. I don't blame them for wanting a guy like an Aaron Judge, wanting all of this, persistence, if you will, as a fan to get paid off. You want to get rewarded as a fan with big name free agents. Hell, and if you're not going to give me that, give me what you're at least giving me this year with some potential big name young guys going forward. And you're finally seeing that. But the next little trickle down point I'm trying to make for Farhan is getting the young guys and getting these free agents as well. Being able to attract not the, I wouldn't call them guppies. What's slightly bigger? Like a flounder? Just something smaller than a tuna. A flounder's fine. Shout out Little Mermaid. Yeah. The Hanigers. Yeah. Stripling. Yeah. I want the tuna. I want the big fish. I want the golden fish. The golden ticket. That's Shohei Ohtani. Now, latest reports from John Morosi, MLB Network, is saying they're unlikely to trade him. The Angels, that is, as it pertains to Shohei Ohtani. So we shall see what happens there. But that's the next step for Farhan. Can he land, trade for a big name and then keep him? Because sure, he's gotten some guys. Chris Bryant, one of them. Now, I get it. Chris Bryant's not doing great in Colorado, but that was a name at least. Signal to Giants fans, man, I can get excited. We're going all in, quote unquote, this year. They did. and it got to a game 5, and it was a dribbler up the middle by Cody Bellinger off Camilo Doval. That was the difference. So we're talking, what person in the Bay Area sports landscape should be under the most pressure to win a championship? 888-957-9570. We're diving through the Niners, the Giants, and the Golden State Warriors, starting off with the Giants. And listen, A's, again, whole different realm. We just want to keep that team here. Sell Fisher, fire Fisher, whatever you got to do. Get that guy out of here. That's all that I would care about if I'm an A's fan. Good morning to all of us on Twitch, on YouTube. Independent Rick, Payday Friday, let's get it. Pandy Zandy, Joe, you remind me of Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know who that is. I'm going to Google him right now. I'm going to let you know if I'm offended or not. Because, you know what? If this person's ugly, I'm going to take offense. Hey, it's fine. He's got a nice smile. Gary is an entrepreneur, author, speaker, and internet personality. Probably has a lot more money than I do, which I would appreciate. I don't wear hats like he does, though. I'm looking at this guy, Gary Vaynerchuk. Not a big hat guy. Used to be. Not anymore. Good morning to Adrian Gutierrez. 3-day weekend, let's go. You're being harsh on the Giants. They're young and doing well. They're also 5 years in and have been to one playoff series under the Farhan Zaidi era. That's just reality. I'm not being harsh. I'm just speaking the facts of what's going on. I haven't said one negative thing about the Giants. Have I? I've just been stating the facts of what's been going on. It's been a 5-year run for Farhan. They have one playoff run. He was brought in here to tear it down, build it back up, and get the farm system back up and running again. And they've done that. This season, we are finally seeing the fruits of that labor pay off, and it has been rewarding. A little bit of a scuffle here. We're going to see what the next few weeks have in store for this squad, because it feels like that's going to be the tail of the tape for this season going forward. And Dave Fleming was on yesterday again discussing the Giants potentially making a trade, but it being later rather than sooner. Take a listen.
If you'd asked me that question even like 3 days ago, I would have said for sure wait. Because I think Farhan's philosophy, and I agree with it, is every day of an extra data point tells you more about what you need and what you don't need. If you're really going to make a move where you give up an asset, give up something significant, you want to make sure, am I targeting the right spot? Does another need pop up? That's the right way to view it. Like, even though there's like a sense of urgency to get help now, figure out exactly what you need before you make that move. If you only have one or two moves.
Figure out what you need. Well, I don't even know if I have to wait to figure that out. They need starting pitching is what they need. And maybe, just maybe, they need some infield depth. Maybe a guy like a Tim Anderson, Dave?
Yeah, I think he's a great name. I'd have him circled big time. It's a tough market to buy in because there are a lot of teams that are in it. And I think that philosophy may have changed. Like, I do think that it's possible that the wait as long as you can has changed in the last few days with Tyro's injury. Because, Crawford we're seeing it with Brandon again here. Like, and it's cruel because this is just what happens when you're 36 and you're trying to play one of the most demanding positions in sports. Like, every time you feel, man, Crawford is here. Here's the old Crawford. Look at him. He looks great. And then you ride him hard and the performance just dips. It just does. It's not his fault. It's just what happens. And so they need to give him more often than they are right now. Like, they have to take the foot off the gas pedal with him. So now you're talking about two spots in the middle infield where you might need some help.
Dave Fleming, again, NBC Sports Bay Area and our 95.7 The Game Giants insider. By the way, next week here at 95.7 The Game, we're bringing you the All-Star Week blowout. Do you want to win a signed Steph or Clay jersey? How about fitness or boxing lessons from Evolve Fitness, huh? Maybe a $250 gift card to Alexander's Steakhouse. God, I love some steak. Medium rare, baby. Some mashed taters on the side. Or Buon Vino interests you. Little wine. It all starts Monday and goes through the entire week. Every show, every day, you'll have a chance to win great prizes. It's the 95.7 The Game's All-Star Week blowout. I got to say, burying the lead there, we got some opportunities to golf with every show. You and a guest, you can either be dealer's choice. Bonte Shasky, Steiny Goo, Willard Dibbs. Now, if I was to power rank them, the most fun out of those three groups probably to golf with, they're going to take a slight. Shasky and Bonte might be listening. I know Shasky is. I might put Guru and Steiny up there, and that's only because I need to see what Goo's like on the course. I need to see what that man is like on the golf course. I know what I'm getting in Steiny. And you think Steiny is a surly guy, a little prickly on air sometimes. Not when he's on the golf course, man. Guy's loving life. Get a couple beers in him. We'll be having a great time. Goo? Could be sink or swim with that guy, depending on his golf game. Love you, Goo. Next, I'm definitely going Bonte Shasky. And then I'll go Mark Willard, Dan Dibley. Nothing against them. They're both very good. They're both really good golfers, actually. So that's why they'd probably make me feel inept in my golf game. At least with Bonte and Goo, like they're just starting out within like the last year. So I feel like, okay, I should at least be a little bit better than them. But the Steinies, the Joe Shaskys, the Mark Willards, Dan Dibleys, they're hitting into the high 80s. I'm mid 90s, low 90s if I'm having a good day. Not that great. But also, you could also win a trip, play golfing with me. You can just call in now. Caller number 1, win a trip with me. You just got to, pay for it and pay for the travel and maybe pay for Sam Lubman. We can both go. That'd be fun. Yeah. So congratulations. Call now and you win a golf trip with Sam Lubman and me. You just have to pay for it. 888-957-9570. Am I right? But no, 95.7 The Game All-Star Week blowout. Should be a fun week next week. Cannot wait. All-Star Week in baseball. It's going to take place in Seattle. And the question this morning on the pregame show, Joe Spadoni at 888-957-9570 is, who is under the most pressure right now to win a chip? We're going team by team. Giants, 49ers, Warriors. We just got done going through the Giants, and although the expectations aren't there to win a title, it's just to make the playoffs, there should be some when you're 5 years into a rebuild and you have one playoff appearance to show for it. Maybe that's too harsh, some might say. I don't think it is. It is what it is. Giants, they're clearly the third spot of those big three as it pertains to winning a chip. Farhan, the pressure's on, but he still's got one more year to prove it, at least, if they don't make the playoffs this year. Next year, that's when the fire's going to be lit. That's when all these expectations are really going to start to rise, and you're going to need not just a playoff, you're going to need a playoff run if you're the San Francisco Giants. Good morning to all of you on the Comcast Business Text line, 888-957-9570. From the 209, there isn't much talent out there worth it. Actually, was that like a Ron Burgundy? There's talent out there. Absolutely there is. I'm not talking about just last year. I'm talking about a couple years ago. Yeah, you know that guy Nick Castellanos a lot of fans wanted, but you didn't even try to negotiate with him? He's having a hell of a year. I would love to have a guy like that, an everyday right fielder you can plug into this lineup every single day. That'd be great, right? I think that's the next step for Farhan and what a lot of these fans want. It's just an everyday lineup like you see with the Braves. And I get it. The Braves are a class organization. That front office has done a tremendous job building up and also going out and trading for free agents. I've already mentioned a guy like Matt Olson, Sean Murphy. Those guys are both all-stars. One of which should be starting. The other is Matt Olson should be the starting first baseman. Freddie Freeman missed me with that. He's a good player, but not having nearly the year that Matt Olson's having. 30 home runs, right, already? Must be nice. Imagine building franchise with those two guys, am I right? Matt Olson, Sean Murphy. Could you imagine adding a Marcus Semien or a A Jonah Hyman there? Yeah. Pain. Let's shift. Let's shift over. San Francisco 49ers. This is when it's going to start feeling heavy desperation. If you're a Niner fan and if you're Kyle Shanahan, you're starting to feel it now. Been knocking on the door and you've felt like you're an Emmanuel Sanders throwaway or, 3rd and 15, Patrick Mahomes, whatever it was, to Tyreek Hill play away of winning a Super Bowl. Hell, this year, you felt like you were a Brock Purdy injury away from potentially going back and playing that same Kansas City Chiefs team. This guy hadn't lost a game. You felt like you caught magic in a bottle. And then it all went crashing down. Turned back into a pumpkin. Glass slipper. Broke. And the fairy tale story turned into a grim fairy tale. Hansel and Gretel were eaten. You get what I'm saying? But now, the expectation is you have the best talent top to bottom of any roster in football. People are saying that. People are saying this is the most talented team, and that's including the Kansas City Chiefs, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Philadelphia Eagles. People are saying it's the most talented team in all of football. We just don't know what we're getting from the quarterback position. Just the most important position in American sports. We'll see. We're confident. Last time we saw Brock, he didn't even lose a game when healthy. He's fine. You know what? Battle out Sam Darnold, Trey Lance for number 2. We're feeling good. It's championship or bust for the San Francisco 49ers this year. And you're going to start feeling the desperation if they have a slow start, which I don't expect them to. But you never know in football. It's a week-to-week league. Things happen. Happens. It's hard to win. It's only 17 games. Everyone gets paid. You'll have a letdown. You always do. But I never panic with Kyle Shanahan-led teams because he's shown that they can have slow starts and reel off 5, 6, 7 in a row, make the playoffs, get hot, and make a deep run. But 888-957-9570. We're up against it. We'll continue this conversation on the other side. Who is under the most pressure right now to deliver a championship in the Niners, Giants, Warriors organizations? Could be Shanahan, could be Farhan, could be Joe Lacob, Steph Curry, Steve Kerr. Who is under the most pressure to win a championship right now as it pertains to Bay Area sports? 888-957-9570. We'll take a quick break. It's a payday Friday. It's a Phil Collins Friday here on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. Welcome back. Phil Collins Friday. Payday Friday. It's just a Friday. It's a feel-good Friday here on the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. We've been discussing pressure, desperation, whatever words you want to use, but we'll go with desperate. Which person in the Bay Area sports landscape is most desperate to win another title? Got through with the Giants, and they're firmly in the third spot. But I say the word person because that could mean a coach, could mean a player, could mean an owner. A GM if you want. Like a Farhan Zaidi. He is the face of the San Francisco Giants. As much as we love Gabe Kapler's eyes and voice and his coffee breakdowns, it's Farhan Zaidi. He's the guy. He's the architect, if you will. Shout out Matrix. And in 5 years, had one playoff run. All right, well, the expectations for a team that won 3 titles last decade, I think should be higher than one playoff run in 5 years, but he inherited a mess. He's cleaned it up and looks like he's got the team moving in the right direction now. We'll see what happens at the deadline. But of the 3 major franchises, and again, we're keeping the A's to the side right now. We just want them to stay in Oakland, sell John Fisher, all that stuff. But of those 3 teams that I mentioned, Giants feel firmly in third spot of expectations to win a chip. Thus, Farhan, in this market right now, he's probably under the third most amount of pressure. And good morning to all of you on Twitch, on YouTube, at 888-957-9570. If you'd like to weigh in, please, I encourage it. The Comcast Business Text line, 888-957-9570. Call or text that number. Good morning, Dublin Marge. Giants are exciting with the youngsters. Build it, and they will come. I agree. 209, the Giants won't overspend. From the Comcast Business Text line, 510, Shanahan easy. When was the Niners' last title? Plus, the roster is loaded. I agree, the roster is loaded. But that one position just... It feels like one of those things where potentially it could evade Shanahan his whole life, and he's a young guy. Hell, he's not even 50 yet. But until he finds that quarterback, he's not winning a Super Bowl. It feels like he's on that Andy Reid career arc. And Andy Reid, he had some great quarterbacks. Donovan McNabb, borderline Hall of Famer. He was that good. Michael Vick, electric. One of the most electric players in the history of sports. Hey, he even had Kevin Cobb and Alex Smith doing well. But until Patrick Mahomes came along, what was the conversation about Andy Reid? Couldn't win the big one. Remember the Dream Team happened? What was that, 2011, 2009? Whenever that was, 2008, 2009. The Dream Team. Vince Young dubbed it. You had Namdi, Michael Vick, all these guys. And it failed. So when I hear loaded rosters, that's great. I need to see them produce out in the field now. I'm going to need to see Brock Purdy do it again. I know a lot of Niners fans are confident he can. Sure. But I think it's fair to be skeptical on Purdy coming back from a major elbow injury, an elbow injury on his throwing arm, for a guy not known for arm strength, who's known for his accuracy. So it's fair to just be a little skeptical moving forward of the quarterback position. Say what you want about Jimmy Garoppolo. Yes, he got hurt a lot. He won games. I know Brock Purdy did. He was undefeated up until that last game in which he got hurt in the NFC Championship game. But Shanahan, if he doesn't win one this year with this roster, and I don't care about the quarterback position because he had his chance to draft a guy and he chose Trey Lance, and through injuries, what have you, it hasn't worked out, but that still falls on him and John Lynch. If they don't win one this year, it's going to feel like a major missed opportunity, if you will. And they may be looking at some fat trimming in the years to come because you're looking at a Bosa contract. You're looking at guys getting older, a la George Kittle. You're going to have to start paying one of these young guys pretty soon, whether it's Lance, whether it's Purdy, whoever produces this season. Hell, Sam Darnold. You have to pay him too if he shows out this season and he ends up being the guy. The only reason this has worked is because you've had a quarterback on the cheap now. Jimmy Garoppolo's gone. That next quarterback will have to be paid. And unless you have a Patrick Mahomes or a Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts now, if you want to toss his name in there. Unless you have those guys carrying the load, it's going to be very, very difficult to supplement the rest of that roster. So Kyle Shanahan, he's up there. But I'm putting him at number 2 as far as people who are desperate in the desperate power rankings to win a title here in the Bay Area. Got Farhan 3, Shanny 2, and I'll give you who my number 1 is on the other side at 888-957-9570. Good morning to all of you on Twitch, on YouTube. Good morning, Nicole. Good morning, my family. Spadoni, will Guru try the splits on the golf course? Apparently, that's a thing that Bonte was saying yesterday. Guru can do the splits, and he tries to show it off every time he can. Hey, congratulations. Guru's a big dude. I didn't know he could do that. I've never seen him cut the rug, quote unquote, which I guess means cutting loose, dancing well. I've never seen Guru do that. I haven't been to a wedding situation. I haven't been to a dance party with Guru. I'm sure he's the life of the party. Been to a bar a couple times with him. Personable. But I think I'm good with seeing Guru doing a walk-off putt on the 18th and doing the splits. I think I'm good off that. Don't need to see him straining a hammy at the very last hole in the golf course. Be funny, though. Would be funny. Good morning to Nick J. Appreciate all you chiming in this early. Guru has the moves like Jagger. That's Dumitch, 1212. We'll see. Little Mick Jagger and Guru. I will say this. Guru, he's not afraid to do it. He's got the confidence. My guy's on that soda weight loss program. He's looking good. Slim in the waist, pretty in the face. He's got the waves. He's got the hairline. Life's good for Guru right now. Life's good. Little Daryl's doing great. He's got another one going to college soon. Man. Time flies. Time flies. And time's been flying on the pregame show. We're up against it. We're going to take one more break. The crossover's next. I'll reveal to you the number 1 in my desperation power rankings to bring a title, another one, to the Bay Area. Farhan's 3, Shanahan's 2, and I'll give you my number 1 on the other side. I'll ask Joe Shasky the same, who he has on his desperation power rankings. This is the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. Don't go anywhere. One more segment, the crossover next on 95.7 The Game.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
This is Matt Crowder live at the gas station on 41st Street reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss. Are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Well, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Upside app and get real cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LANE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LANE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LANE.
Can you hum along to every 80s pop melody or recognize the beat to every classic hip-hop track? Whatever decade of music is your true love, you can prove it to anybody with the world's biggest music quiz game on Alexa. We play you a clip and you guess the song and artist. Just say, Alexa, play music quiz to try it now. Test yourself, your family, and your friends with music from any decade by saying, Alexa, play music quiz. That's Alexa, play music quiz.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
Hey, the holidays may be almost over, but there's more reason to celebrate. I just went to Kohl's, where I saved up to 70% on clearance and got too much cool stuff. Like cute home goods, jeans for my whole fam, a cozy sweater for myself, a pair of boots for my husband, and more. Yep, Kohl's really is the gift that keeps on giving. Select styles, up to 70% off ends January 4th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
The Urban League of Greater San Francisco Bay Area empowers Bay Area African Americans and underserved communities to achieve their highest true social parity, economic self-reliance, power, and civil rights. The League promotes economic empowerment through education, job training, housing, community development, workforce development, leadership programs, entrepreneurship, health, sustainability, and quality of life. Learn more at ulbayarea.org and browse programs like Bella, the Black Executive Leadership Accelerator at UC Berkeley. That's ulbayarea.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-543-3399. That's 800-543-3399. 800-543-3399.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese.
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. I found out I'm wrong. Pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. The cross Joe over in moments, where Joe Shafsky, the Morning Roast, joins me. Get his thoughts on what they're going to talk about in the Morning Roast with Bonte and him, as well as what we were talking about all show. And that's the Desperation Power Rankings and who's most desperate to win a title next. And I'm doing people, not sticking it to a player, coach, GM, owner. We're just going people. I put Farhan at number 3, put Shanny at number 2, and I'm rustling Joe with either Steve Kerr or Stephen Curry at number 1. I could argue Steve Kerr because he could be out of a job, potentially, if he plays this year and doesn't win, or at least get to a finals. And it feels like, and I think that's why Warriors fans are so in their feelings about this whole Chris Paul moving on from JP, the whole Draymond saga, this dark cloud, is it really lifted? You're feeling the desperation of a window in a dynasty closing. And that hits different than when you have a guy like Shanahan who's in his mid-40s, early 40s. Like it feels like he's still got another 10, maybe 20 years. I don't know if it's the 49ers, but he still has a window in the NFL, pretty big one.
See, I would kind of disagree with you. And I would go with Steph Curry's so cemented. Now you're just adding notches under the belt. Shanny's looking for a belt. You know what I mean? Like trying to pick up the trousers.
Yeah, but if Steph gets his fifth, and we had this conversation the other week.
He's a legend.
I know. But if he gets his fifth, that is Kobe, Duncan, Magic, one more than LeBron. Like that's elite.
You're sure he's not
top
teaming
5.
up with LeBron?
Oh boy,
I'm teasing.
Please, for the love of God, this might be LeBron's last year. Actually, now that I think about it, it's kind of wild.
What about Bronny?
Oh God, for the love of God!
And now I'm noticing the pivot on the internet. People are like, it's not about Bronny, it's about the other brother.
Oh God.
What's the other brother?
What is he going to play till he's 50? I don't know his name.
What's the other brother?
I don't know. Bryce? I don't know.
Yeah, Bryce. Whatever.
Yeah,
like he's the real prospect.
Please, for the love of God.
I heard some things about LeBron at AAU tournaments that are just
overbearing dad.
Very unsettling.
Very overbearing dad, and
it doesn't surprise you even a little.
No, because I get sick to my stomach watching my 3-year-old be doing these little sporting camps that doesn't even mean anything. They're just trying to hit a ball off a tee and not whiff.
Bro,
it's like
I got a good one. So this kid, Carmel Valley, or Carmel, excuse me, is the name. They're a red and white team. That's their uniform colors.
Red and white Carmel.
Okay, so kid hits a big time double, and we miss the cutoff, and he's at second base doing this dance, and I look over at the coach, and the coach is looking at the kid like he should have advanced from second to third, but he's doing this dance. It was absolutely hilarious. So then one of our kids got a hit, and then he did the dance, and I was like, what are you doing?
Oh my God. I kind of like that though, right?
It was hilarious.
That's really funny. Like they're just trying to have fun, right? They see the professionals doing it, right? They have their dances.
Here's my favorite one. Young Rami hits one down, like smokes one down. He had batted like 800 in this like 5-game tournament. Smokes one down the line, gets to second base, and he's doing the pepper shaker. The pepper shaker. I was like, what is he doing?
I didn't even know what that celebration was until someone told me it was the pepper. Until someone told me the pepper shaker, I was like, I'm not going to discuss it. But it gave me like, oh, should we be doing this?
Larsa Pippen vibes.
Yeah, Larsa Pippen. There you go. And Bonte's all about that, by the way. I think him and Guru could have an entire show. Hell, all of us.
Did you hear what Gook said?
No, what he said?
I could do 4 hours on it.
Someone said, and I was talking about earlier, I don't know if you're listening, because we're doing this.
I was jamming to the 60s music.
That's fine.
Sorry.
We were doing All-Star Week blowout, and I was doing like a promo read for it, and I was like, man, of all those foursomes, who did you want to golf with? The Willard Dibbs, Joe Shasky, and I was like power ranking them. I was like, I'm going to put Morning Roast 2 because I don't know what I'm getting from Guru in that first group.
No clue.
Like, I know Steiny, if you get a few beers in him, people think, oh, he's this prickly, surly guy. No. You get Steiny on a golf course, drinking, that might be your favorite person of all time. No, but I have heard stories from reputable sources, Stephen Langford, that he has a great time out there. He doesn't take too seriously because Steiny gets it. I'm sure you do, Joe. Yeah. When you're out golfing with your friends,
you're having fun.
That's all it's about. Like, I'm not taking my scores. I can hit 100, but I can have one shot, and I'm fine. Like, that's just me. There's some guys out there that take it way too seriously. Well, I'm not trying to do that. And it's no fun watching someone struggle. Like I'm sure Goo and Bonte, who are just starting out in golfing, they're going to feel very frustrated playing with someone like one of us or something like that. Or hell, not even one of me. I hit into the low 90s, mid 90s on a good day. You may hit into the high 80s or the low 80s and be like, that was a good round for me.
Yeah.
It's hard for someone just getting into it not to feel like they're awful and stuff like that.
For sure.
And it's up to me or you to pick those guys up. Hey, man, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Absolutely.
This takes time. I still suck. I have 100 rounds every single day.
Of course.
So, like, I love playing with people like that.
They get it.
And they get it. Yes. And you
totally
get it.
agree.
Yes.
Guru, can you imagine golfing with him?
Well, someone was saying, is he going to do a splits on the 18th green if he pars one? It's like, God bless him, Goo. What's the outfit going to look like for Agu? What do you think he's going to wear, man? That guy, styling and profiling.
Seriously.
He's slim in the waist, pretty in the face now.
He looks incredible.
Argyle? We going Argyle going sweater vest? He rocks the sweater vest.
Everybody's losing weight at this station but me.
Oh, no. Come on. You look good.
I'm trying.
Come on, man. You're going out to the race. You get your 18 in yesterday, right?
Well, we got a lot of different things going on.
There you go. Gets a little toasty out there. And you're going to the cabin?
I did watch last night the Babe Ruth doc on HBO.
Oh, interesting. Is that new?
It's on Max. It's like 20 years old.
I hate that they've changed the name, by the way, to Max.
I know.
I think it's so stupid.
Pretty foolish.
Yes. Just HBO Max.
It's interesting. Like, I was thinking about this. You tell me what you think. Do you want to live to be 100? Or do you want to just pass away in your prime? Not that he was in his prime, because he got cancer and he whittled away the last couple of years. But, like, it got me to thinking, like, do you want to live like a Tupac kind of a life? You know, imagine going out like John Elway, you know what I mean, on top. Or do you want to live to be 100 and maybe the last 10 to 15 years ain't so hot?
It's a good question. One of those feels like more of the selfish options because you're thinking about your own legacy and going out on top because of you. When I grow old, it's for the other people around me.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I kind of think about.
Being a burden for them?
No.
I'm teasing.
Actually, kind of. Yeah, I wiped your ass. You better wipe mine, right? But that's just now that I've had some kids. Now I got family that's getting older. Like, my dad's like, he's turning 75 next year. So it's like starting to feel like, man, my dad's getting a little older. Like, I need to start like playing with him. Dad, if you're listening, I love you. You got 30, 40 years left. You're fine.
Absolutely.
But then you start to feel that. Like, it's an interesting conversation because I think of a guy like Babe Ruth. Now we're comparing to Shohei Ohtani. Like, if Ohtani, let's say like some freak thing happens with him and he's done for his career, some neck injury. I don't want to wish anything. Whatever.
Yeah.
What happens?
Yes.
He's still one of the greatest players of all time, but it's like Bo Jackson, right?
Right.
Mythical. Like, there's this thing. This goes back to what we were talking about yesterday, right? Shasky, Nirvana. Are they still this cult, like, oh, Nirvana, that's one of the greatest bands of all time, that short life run, but man.
Like the Beatles?
Like the Beatles. There you go. Like, so that's an interesting combo. Absolutely.
Like, do you want to be the Red Hot Chili Peppers or do you want to be the Beatles? Do you want to be Madonna or do you want to be, I don't know, pick your, not one hit wonder, but like somebody who had a smaller shelf life of success?
It's an interesting conversation.
Like, would you rather be Jay-Z or Tupac?
Oh, man. It's a good conversation. I feel like still Tupac to this day is just like,
right?
Like a god status for some people. Whereas Jay-Z, you know what? He's a Hall of Famer. He's a legend. But you'll still never, and it's like, it's like Michael Jordan right now. It's like, no one's going to touch Mike.
No,
ever. Like, nothing's going to be like that. Hell, Stephen Curry, LeBron James, it's just, there's a rarefied air when it comes to certain people, this mythical thing. And that's why it brings me back to Stephen Curry and this desperate power ranking I was doing. Because it just feels like this final window, this 3 to 4 years, as Anthony Slater was calling it, he says it's going to kind of be the farewell tour. That's how he put it for Steph, Clay, and Dre. If they get one more, I feel like it means more than a 6th title for the Niners. I just feel that way because of Steph, because he unites the Bay Area. There's still a fragmented portion of the Bay as it pertains to the Raiders.
I agree.
Steph is just different, man.
I know.
He's just different.
Everything.
He unites everything, and he's our guy.
But if he didn't win another one, I don't think that would be some sweeping indictment of him.
No.
Or the organization.
No, but there'll be arguments made, and listen, it's sports talk, it's Barstool Sports, but I think if you can't keep him out of the top 5 of all time if he wins a 5th.
Wow, that's interesting.
You can't keep him out. Well, I think he might be number 2.
It's just so hard because all those bigs from a bygone era, like the Wilts and the Kareems and the Bill Russells, how do you keep them out after you look at their resumes or you look at their team accomplishments, depending on how you're ranking? It's just, I feel like there's bigs and then there's like perimeter players, and I would put Steph in the top 5 of perimeter players already.
I put it like this, and I think the argument.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I think the argument against Steph, and it's a good one, is the defensive factor.
Okay.
Because
all those other guys, if you're going to go LeBron, Michael Jordan, like listen to
Kareem.
Forget those. I'm talking about the perimeter players.
Okay, gotcha.
They're all
Kobe,
essentially two-way players, except him.
Except him. That's the thing.
Not that he's some, He's
not a scrub, but he was early in his career,
Absolutely.
But he gained to be an average defender, which is, you know what? That's saying something in today's NBA, because if you're just an average defender, you're better than the 75% of the league, because at least you're trying. Like, we saw what no defense gives you, and that was what Jordan Poole gave you last year in the playoffs and all season was no defense. So at least you hope with CP3 coming in, that IQ, if you will, knowing where to be on the floor. He'll give you something. I know he'll give you a hard foul. Hey, Joe, I was driving in today. I was like, you know what? Are Warriors fans so down on CP3? Like, are they finally coming around to the fact that, you know what? You got a smarter player, a Hall of Famer, and then you're finally at least a better team than you were at the start of this whole thing. You're a better team now. I don't think Warriors fans are freaking out for no reason. This team's right there, man.
You just acquired one of the biggest rivals in the history of the organization.
It's fine.
Like, we're one of the few teams that doesn't have like a true rival team.
Yes.
Like, think about it.
You have a rival player in LeBron, James Harden, CP3. Like, those are the three I think of.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, you are never good enough to ever build up a callus against any specific organization.
No.
Right? Like, you could say the Rockets, you could say the Clippers, but those weren't like forged in fire like some of these other sports Bay Area rivalries. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I agree. And you felt like maybe Kawhi would have been that guy, but then the Kawhi injury happened with Zaza Pachulia, and then you end up losing to him in the finals against Toronto. So it is interesting in this era of, no true rivals. Like, the one true rival you felt like you had with CP3 going back from Clippers to the Rockets to now being a Golden State Warrior. It is funny how it's like, can't beat him, join him. It's just funny how things work out.
Interesting to me. Like, go back to 2019 when he beat the Warriors. He was the legend killer.
Kawhi. Right?
I mean, he beat LeBron, the famous, he's subbing into the game, and LeBron's like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy's coming back in. He beats LeBron. He's basically the LeBron stopper. Then he goes, and him and Pop have a falling out over the injury, and he ended up probably being right. And then he goes to Toronto, and he beats the Warriors on one leg. And it's just, he has a very interesting career.
He does, and it feels like it's going to...
Almost Bo Jackson-like in the sense that we feel, or Ken Griffey, like we're being robbed of him because of injuries.
Yes, correct. We felt like this guy could have been in that top 5 potentially conversation, or hell, in that like Kobe conversation.
Absolutely.
I was like, because that's who he reminded me of a little bit, but even more efficient. Like he wasn't the volume shooter as a Kobe was. I don't think he was as good as a scorer he is, but that defense, man, those hands, the claw.
Yeah.
Like going back to San Diego State days, like this guy was legit. He got bounced by Jimmer Fredette. I'll never forget that.
Jimmer!
I was so rooting for San Diego State in that run. My sister went there, so I was pulling for him. But that was the Jimmer Fredette run. Teach me how to Jimmer. You remember that song?
Drafted ahead of Clay.
Oh my God. The NBA draft, more than any other, is such a crapshoot. Like the evaluation of these guys. He was the Kings too, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, the Kings.
What do you think of
They could have
Chet?
had Luka too.
I know.
Oh,
What do you think of
Marvin
Chet
Bagley.
so far?
We'll see. Like
That's
I know
exactly the way I feel. Like we'll see.
We'll see. I don't know. Like again, like these guys that transfer over, he's so skinny. And speaking of Chet, Victor Wembanyama making his debut. Are you gonna be watching that, Joe? I'm actually gonna be watching that.
I'm very excited.
That's appointment TV, a summer league, right?
I'm very excited, and I there's just no way he can live up to the hype.
No.
Like I honestly feel bad for him at this point.
His point total, I think, is 12.5. If you want to bet on it, over under 12.5 points tonight.
Well, he's gonna shoot a lot.
Is he?
Name another player on that Spurs
that summer
team.
league. I just watched them the other day. It's a California Classic. I still can't. Oh, Champagne. Some guy's last name is Champagne. He did pretty good.
No sex in the Champagne room.
There you go. That's Joe Shasky.
I'm talking to you, Larsa Pippen.
Bonte Hill on the other side. 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco.